Hello, and welcome back to Soul Speak, the podcast for teens. I am your host, Emily Miller, Teen Intuitive. Okay, so this week, I think we need to come back to the creator field for a minute. I want to give you guys some more kind of background for what the creator field is made up of and how you know what your creator field is broadcasting, what it's putting out there, what the universe is reading from you. Like, what are your emotions that you're putting out so that it can create the energy that you are seeing? So, the first thing we'll kind of talk about is that everything is energy. Every single thing on this planet is made up of energy. And the energy around us is constantly, always, and forever communicating to us. We are connecting to this energy, and that energy is connecting back to us. So, I want to kind of talk about what the energy is made up of. And I want you guys to think back to if you took biology, if you've done that yet, and well, really any science class where you've gotten to do like labs, and they give you the microscope. And then with the microscope, you get that tiny little slide filled with some things, usually some sort of bacteria that they show you in the microscope. And so you put it in the little slide thing and you look into the microscope and you see all of the tiny little particles that item, whatever it is, made up of. So that is what our energy is made up of, essentially, is little particles of light. And those particles, once they all come together and meld together, join together, work together, they all come together, they create an object, they create something, they create matter. And like we said before, matter is all, for us, will be all people, places, situations, circumstances, things, your body, how they are made up of, or what they're made up of. So we are made up of all of these tiny little particles, just like that little thing that you slid under the microscope to look at, to see. That was one little tiny part of that bacteria to show you all of the little pieces that are inside that thing that's already really little that we had to put under the microscope to see. So we are made up of all of those little tiny particles of light or energy. And so our creator field is made up of all of the little tiny particles too. And so those things are also, energy is light, right? So think about not every single bit of energy can we see. But we know it exists because we have things that show us results of that energy existing, right? So think about whenever you go to turn on a switch, a light switch. You go to the wall, you flip the switch, and voila, light appears because there is a current of energy that's going to that switch to turn on the light so that we can see, right? And so we have evidence, we have proof that there is energy that's being sent and creates light, right? So that's the exact same thing that we are doing all the time. And energy that moves like that is not always visible to the untrained eye. So we have our creator field, which is made up of that invisible energy. There's something that you can, there's a way to train your brain and your body to be able to see this energy of the creator field. And the way to do that is by developing your intuition, which we will get into later. But currently, as human beings on this planet, we aren't taught how to tap into that energy, how to see that energy that we think we can't see, which is basically our creator field. And it's an electromagnetic field of energy that is in motion. So, our EMF, our electromagnetic field, is the same thing as our creator field, and it is the energy that our body is putting off to create the matter in our world. So, every single thing that we see, taste, hear, experience is all a product of our creator field. So, all the energy that we're putting out, every emotion, every belief that we have, everything that we are putting out into the universe is coming back to us by the way that we are experiencing our world, the matter in our world, all people, places, situations, circumstances, things, body, that is our creator field, a result of our creator field, I should say. So, how do you know what you are putting out? How do you know if you can't see the energy that you're putting out? How do you know what it is that you are giving to the world around you to see what it is that your beliefs are making? Well, all you have to do is look around you. Use your five senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you touch? What are all of the things around you? And you want to also look at the people around you. How are the people around you being towards you? How are those people treating you? What sort of circumstances are you living in? How does it feel in the school that you go to? When you walk into school every day, how do you feel whenever you're walking into these certain circumstances that are in your daily life? School, home, um, all the different places that you're going, restaurants you go into, stores you shop at, all of those things you have created. Think about, how do those things make you feel? So, your feelings are going to be, your emotions are going to be the indicator of what you are putting out there. So, think about all these people, places, situations, circumstances, things, your body. How do you feel about those things? Are you feeling like they are things that you love? Are you feeling like they are things that you hate? Think about how your relationship is with your best friends. How are those going for you? How do you feel whenever you are around these people? And that will let you know how you are feeling about your creator, or how you are sending out things in your creator field. So, all that we have to do in order to understand what little tiny light particles and energy we're sending out to the universe is to look around and say, okay, how are all of these things affecting me? How are they making me feel? And this will give you a an idea of your current beliefs. So, how does your current reality feel? And whenever I say current, I mean just right now, because remember, our feelings are always changing. We are always feeling as human beings, and our feelings will change. So, if you're having these current beliefs, so how we are right now is the energy that you are putting out right now. And another amazing thing about the fact that we're putting out energy and putting out emotions at all times is that we can change it. So just because you feel a certain way right now, and just because you are having certain experiences right now, it doesn't mean that those experiences and those things are going to be what you have for the rest of your life. People and other outside forces might tell you that there are no ways that you can change certain things about who you are or what you look like or where you are or the people in your environment, that you're stuck this way. You are stuck with these things. But that's the beauty of learning this information about your creator field, is that you can change it. You have the control. You are never ever stuck anywhere, anytime, any place. You can always change it. You are the creator. You are in control. Remember that forever and always. I have to remind myself of that all the time. I just had a situation today where I was taking a sip of my coffee, literally choked on it so badly. I spit the coffee out, and my entire car dashboard was covered in coffee, and I was gasping for breath. I couldn't breathe. And I was like, I feel like I'm dying, right? In that second, I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was choking. And I was like, wait a second. I created this. How did I create this? And I had to go back and use my processes, which we'll get into at a later date, to figure out, like, why did that just happen to me? And so I did. I went back and I was like, oh, okay, well, I was thinking this, and this happened, and went through this whole process, and I was like, okay, that's why I created that. And I was able to get that out of my creator field because I realized what was going on, and the universe very beautifully and boldly and strongly communicated with me exactly what was going on in my brain, so that I would stop, snap out of it, and go on a different path here with my thoughts, so I could be in alignment and not having these thoughts that didn't belong. So anyways, that's what my current belief was at that time, that I created with these thoughts that I was having. um and I had to snap out of it and then readjust and be like, okay, this is what's really happening, this is what's really going on. And so once you get these ideas and can understand how the universe is communicating to you, how source is communicating to you, how your higher self is communicating to you, and showing you how you're out of alignment, it's like the biggest relief and release to understand that, okay, now I know what's going on and I can change it. So that was like the perfect example for me today to see, and then to come and share with you guys how I was like feeling so out of alignment, and putting out there that I was so out of alignment that the universe created this situation where I thought I was like dying for a couple of minutes, choking on this dumb sip of coffee that I had, to show me like, hey, Emily, you are completely off track here. Snap back, get back on, and do what you're supposed to be doing here, loving life. And so, anyways, that's a very perfect example of how you can see that your current beliefs are, and that you are able to change them. So, another thing that I'll add into this too with beliefs and feelings is that a lot of times we think feelings are either good or bad. We have this thing like built in us from a super early age where, like, in even when we're 3 years old and we just start learning how to talk, and we just start learning how to communicate, and one of the first words we like learn is bad or good, because our parents, through no fault of their own, have taught us that certain things, behaviors, people, items, like, a hot stove, it's a bad thing. Don't touch that. That's bad, which it is, and it's very painful, but Also, it's there to teach us a lesson, if we were to touch the hot thing. So, uh, back to what I was saying about good or bad, we think that things are good or bad because somebody told us that they're good or bad. But even things that we perceive as bad or think are bad actually have good in them. So even things that we think are perfect, or this person you maybe follow on social media, you might think that, oh, well, they, live this kind of life and it's perfect and there's nothing bad happens to them. They don't ever have bad experiences because look at this life that I'm watching on my feed every single day. And that's also not true. Like even things that we think are perfect or good, they also have parts to them that are bad. And whenever we see things that are bad, a lot of times we just aren't seeing the lesson that we're learning from these things that are bad. And so, if we were seeing the universe and seeing life the way that Source and our higher self sees things, we would understand that everything has an equal amount of good as it has an equal amount of bad. And when things are equal and they're, matched up, then they are going to be in balance and there's not going to be one side that's bigger or worse or less or whatever. It's going to be perfectly balanced. And that is how Source sees the universe, sees us, sees every single thing in the universe. It's perfectly in balance. Equal amounts of good, equal amounts of bad. Nothing, no one is better or worse than another. So it's very important to know that even in these emotions that you are feeling, especially right now, if you are feeling emotions that don't feel good or you are having experiences in your life that don't feel good, these things do have good in them. We just aren't seeing them. We aren't seeing the things that they are providing for us, the lessons that they are giving to us. And a super good example of this would be thinking about a thief. Like, all right, you are out and about and you're at school, okay? And you had $20 in your backpack, right? And you just had it loose. You had it sitting in the front little like mesh pocket of your backpack, and you needed it to pay for something at school, your lunch bill or whatever. You were taking your $20 and you go to lunch. You're about to go. You dig into your backpack. $20 is gone. This situation would seem like a really bad situation, right? You're out $20. How are you going to eat? Blah, da, 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 da. There's a million things that could go wrong. Your parents are going to be mad at you because you lost the $20. And this whole missing $20 situation is just seeming so horrible, right? Well, if you think about it in a different way, from a different perspective, then you can see that even this bad situation that you are experiencing, where someone took or maybe you lost your $20, that it actually has some good things that would come out of it. So, thinking in terms of what could be good about this, well, maybe that person who stole your $20, maybe they haven't eaten in a week. Maybe they haven't been able to afford lunch, and you just allowed for that person who took your $20 to eat lunch for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. What if now that you've lost the $20 because you were being careless with your money and you just put it out in this mesh pocket so that it could either fall out or get stolen or whatever? Now you're going to be much more responsible with your money from now on. So thank God you only lost $20. What if later in life and you hadn't learned this lesson, you were walking around with $1,000 in your pocket and you lost that, right? Or this is teaching you like bigger lessons in responsibility with your money. And now you know how to, properly take care of your money, where to store it, where to invest it. All these things could good come from this 20 bucks going missing. That could last a lifetime, right? Money lessons are super important. When you learn how to keep your money safe, and that money is safe with you, that's a lesson that you learn. That's an amazing one for the lifetime. Like, you'll always need money, and the more money you have, the better, right? So I want for you guys to just kind of think about this creator field and how it is made up of all of these little tiny particles that are organizing the matter all around you via how you think and how you believe and how you feel. And then realizing that even if and when, because we're humans and we will always and forever experience things that don't feel good, to show us what we need to think to make everything go back into alignment in that perfect balance, is that these bad situations, quote, bad situations, are really something that are good. And to kind of start thinking about these situations in life that we might perceive as bad, see the balance in them. Try to think, like, throughout your week this week, try to think about, like, okay, this happened to me. I almost died drinking a sip of coffee in my car this morning. And how is that actually a good thing? What was the thing that is good that came out of this? What is the lesson that I learned? The 20 bucks was stolen from me. How did that become good? My mom yelled at me on the way out of the door this morning. What is the good thing that came out of that? So, as you're going through your week this week, think about that. Try to understand that everything in life is always in balance, and that it's just a perspective shift. It's just a way of thinking that you need to kind of shift out of, to see that it's not all good, it's not all bad. The universe, source, sees everything as always perfectly balanced. And whenever you can see the perfect balance in the universe, that puts you in perfect alignment. And whenever you are in perfect alignment, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, life just becomes even more perfect, which is like the best realization that you can have. So take this week, find the balance, find the good, even in the bad, and see what you can come up with this week. That'll be a fun little task for you for the week. And as always, thank you for being here with me on Soul Speak. I will be back again next week. So in the meantime, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful week, and find all of the beautiful balance in your life this week. And I will see you next week.